As the 2021 season kicked off, I wasn't filled with the normal hope and optimism I normally have. I didn't have any bucks on camera that were getting me really excited, as I would come to find this year wasn't about harvesting the biggest or most bucks. It was going to be a year of first, even though I've been at this for over 20 years. The season opened in Ohio and was quickly followed by Michigan. October was really slow, only seeing one decent buck in Michigan. Things started to ramp up in Ohio in early November with an encounter with a deer we called the Big Eight. This was my only encounter with him, but it was a deer I had passed on last year, and he was a local deer to the farm. It was great to see the jump he made, and definitely had my heart pounding as he stood there at 25 yards. A few days later, I was able to harvest a really nice buck. He was cruising a ridge top, and from the time I saw him until I had an arrow in him was less than 30 seconds, and I was not able to get the camera turned on. This was followed by some very exciting days for me, even though I wasn't the one punching a tag. Getting a call early one Friday morning from my dad. He had just put an arrow in a deer on the family farm. This was the first deer I can recall that my dad had shot with a bow in my lifetime, and to hear the excitement in his voice took me back to my first deer and the many phone calls I've made to him for advice over the years after shooting deer. We agreed he should back out and wait till the following morning, and I would come up and help him look for the deer. The next morning we found the deer less than 50 yards from where he had last seen it. Over the next 2 days, my uncle, fiance, and stepson showed up to what I call deer camp, although I don't think most would call staying at Grandma's deer camp. Almost every gun opening day I can remember has been spent on the family farm with my dad and uncle. To have my fiance and stepson at deer camp for the first time was definitely the most exciting part of the season. This was quickly followed by Thanksgiving and taking my fiance out as a hunter for the first time and trying to get her first deer. With not the best weather and heavily pressured deer, we came up unsuccessful, but the time was well spent. Just before season, I had gained permission from a farmer close to home to hunt on a piece of his property. The only stipulation was that I shoot deer. I decided to go old school and didn't run any cameras and just went back to what I'd learned over the years, how to read sign and hunt. As the late season was drawing to a close in late December, I still had tags burning a hole in my pocket. I had already shot a couple deer off the property, but wanted to fill my last few tags. On almost the last day of the season, I was able to film my first gun harvest on camera and first gun harvest out of a saddle. To top it all off, I did it all twice in one sit. Now that the season is closed, I look back at what a season it has been. Meeting new friends for the first time, spending time hunting with old friends, the hundreds of text messages from people in the woods, cutting up deer on the family farm with my fiance and stepson for the first time, first deer out of a saddle with a gun. As I put away the last piece of gear for the year, 2021 has brought lots of smiles.